Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So I just got done filming the July pickups from the surplus store. As you can see, the case is in the exact same orientation and the camera hasn't moved at all. So in this video, as you can tell by the title, I'm going to be taking apart these PCs here, kind of seeing what's on the inside of them and stuff. So yeah, this should be pretty interesting. I actually don't know how to get the top panel off. The top panel, this part here, has a lip that folds over the back of it, and this entire thing is one metal piece. So I'm kind of thinking it's like my Xserve G5 where the inside kind of slides out, but it doesn't look that way on the front, so I'm still going to have to figure out what's going on here. The rack rails, if you can see that, have some screws on them, and they do kind of bend out where this lip kind of ends. So I think maybe that if I remove these and remove all of these side screws, I might be able to take the machine apart enough to get on the inside of it. So I actually have a nice screwdriver here. I don't think my iFixit kit is going to be enough to untighten these screws, so I'm going to go ahead and start this and cut to when I'm finished. So I have the one rail off, and as you can see, this case lifts up a lot with that kind of taken off. It does still feel like it's held in the front by something, hopefully not the lock. So the rails on the other side don't really seem to be installed. Actually, I think they're installed backwards because the screws don't fit in properly. And yeah, it doesn't look very good on this side, so I think they're installed backwards. So yeah, the one rail was installed backwards, like I said, so you can see there are holes there, and there's countersink holes on the other side, so that's kind of interesting. Also, one of the screws, two of them actually, were stripped really bad, and I was kind of worried I would strip them to the point where I couldn't remove them. Luckily, they all came out okay. So if I go ahead and slide that back, it's not held in by the lock, so that's really nice. I'm just gonna lift that off, and we are inside the machine. So here we are on the inside of the computer, and if we pan the camera down, we have these pretty beefy cards in here, and like I said, those are those weird connector cards at the back. So I do recognize this board. Actually, I got one of these from work, and I don't have the I/O shield for it, but I do have the board. So this is pretty similar to the DQ45CBs I got in the parts PCs a few years ago, so that's pretty exciting. It only has 2 RAM slots on it, so that's not really, too fun, but it is still a decent board. So I'm going to remove this bracket here and take these cards out. So I just removed one of the cards, and it has a Molex connector on it, so that's cool. Don't know what that's for. Probably, obviously it's external power or auxiliary power. So yeah, I'm not sure what this card does, but you can see we have these headers that are numbered, it looks like. So that's pretty interesting. I kind of wonder if this is like an HBA or something. Actually, there's a lot of text on the back. FSX modules may dissipate a lot of energy. Interesting. It's made by a company called Digium, it looks like. So yeah, I'll be doing more research into these cards. So I guess I'll pull out the other one as well. So if we pull this other card off, and actually let me remove the power connector here, you can see we have a bunch of these other modules, and they're glued in with some kind of like goopy adhesive stuff here. So I don't know what these little devices here are for. So like I said, I'll do more research, and I'll probably stick that in at the end of the video. I have no idea what these would be used for, but it's still pretty interesting. These cards are the same card, by the way, but this one has a different FSX module, I guess, on it. So that's pretty cool. So if we go ahead and look on the inside of the machine here, you can see we do have, I forgot what this board is called, what the model number is, but we have a socket 775 stock cooler here, and a generic power supply by SPI. So looking on that power supply, SPI means Sparkle Power in something. It's INT apostrophe L LTD. I don't know what the heck that means, but whatever. I believe the power supply claims to be 400 watts, though I don't know the weight of the power supply because it's still in the case. Once I pick it up, I can, gauge if it's gonna stick up to its claim there, but it doesn't seem like it. So if I kind of lean the tripod in a bit more, you can see we have a SATA optical drive, which is really nice. I do like those, and I'll probably actually keep that in this computer because I do, like I said, like having those in my computers. Also, it looks like these are some kind of drive bay maybe, but I'm not sure what these are going to be used for. Come to think of it, those cards were slotted into those, so these are just to support PCI cards, I guess. As for the RAM in this system, I'm gonna lift this out. Let's take a look. This is some kind of DDR2 module. I'm not sure what capacity this is actually. I see a /2G on there, so I'm going to presume this is a 2 gig module, so it's a nice module, low profile and stuff. I'll definitely be keeping that around. There's also a decent little, actually quite big 120mm fan up front here, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to actually turn these computers on. I should probably turn this one on before I take it apart too much. So of course, to access the front power button, I have to remove all of this stuff so I can undo that lock and open the front panel. So I was actually able to pretty easily get that front panel open. So unfortunately the lock is kind of stuck in there, so I'm going to have to figure out how to get that out. But in the meantime, I did get the front panel open, like I said. So let's go ahead and flip the switch on the back, and maybe it's configured with auto power on, maybe not. It really depends on what the people had it set to, of course. So it looks like the machine posts. I'm going to turn it off for now and get a monitor plugged in and see what happens. Alright, so I have a monitor plugged in. Let's go ahead and plug it in here. And it auto starts, and it's pretty loud. One of the fans sounds, pretty unhappy. So we are not getting a post of any... Here we go. It was, just on the wrong input because it doesn't auto-detect for some reason. That's, wonderful. Let's go ahead and power cycle it here. I want to see it boot up from the beginning. Yeah, so no keyboard found. Kind of freaks out about that, but that's okay. So it tries to pixie boot, it looks like, but that's, not going to happen because it's not on a network. Yeah, so there's no boot device in here, so that's basically normal. That's all we're going to get. So one or both of the fans in this system sound really bad, but that's, pretty typical for something like this. Of course, I have a ton of fans I could throw in here anyway. This VGA connector doesn't seem too happy either. I can just wiggle that, Pretty damaged, it looks like. Of course, I'm probably not going to be using this board in here, so that doesn't really matter. So taking a look on the inside of the second machine, we have 3 of these cards here. This poor card is not fully in the proper slot, so it's totally bent out of, where it's supposed to be. Other than that, the configuration really seems to be the same. It looks like we have the same 2 gigs of RAM, Intel stock cooler, just the board is slightly different. And there's one more fully populated card in here. On second look though, this board in here actually is pretty nice. I also found the source of the rattling, and it's a screw somewhere. There it is. So yeah, with that taken care of, we're going to go ahead and start up the computer. So there you are positioned where you can see the monitor. And I'm going to go ahead and plug the machine in and hope it turns on because I don't really want to get the front panel open right now. And we get nothing. Looks like I'm taking this machine apart to access that power button. Alright, so I was able to get the front panel off pretty easily with this one as well. So I plugged it in and I heard some clicking. That's, a good sign, I guess. Or a bad sign. Let's go ahead and turn it on. And once again, it's pretty loud. It sounds like the front fan is just, on its way out. And you can see right away we just don't have a boot device, which is, normal behavior as we do not have a boot device in the system. Something's also giving off a high-pitched whine, which I don't really like that. It's probably the power supply. Let's go ahead and turn the machine off here. So yeah, with that said, I think that's going to be it for this video. I should put the CPU information in, but I'm too lazy to take off the cooler, and it doesn't really matter anyway. They're Pentium somethings, so yeah. Anyway, like I said, that really is going to be it for this video. So thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. So to wrap up this video, I figured I would tell you what the processors and the computers were. So the one with the Intel board has a Pentium dual-core E5400 at 2.7 GHz, and the Foxconn board computer has a Pentium dual-core E2200 at 2.2 GHz. So those are what the CPUs in those systems are. Also FXS and FXO, I figured I'd talk about that a bit. So the cards I had in those systems have FXS and FXO modules. And the red ones are the FXOs and the FXS are the green ones. So FXS is foreign exchange subscriber, and it's the port that actually delivers blah blah blah, you know. I'll put this article in the description. But basically the systems that I got must have been PBX systems, and that's just like a phone server kind of thing. And we actually work with those a lot at work, except the stuff we use is a lot more modern. Everything's like RJ45 based and stuff. So anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting. They actually go for quite a bit of money, so I'll probably be selling all of that equipment as I have no use for it. Anyway, with that said, I think that's going to be it. So thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.